It's safe to say Scotland isn't uppermost in the minds of the contenders for the Labour leadership. Yesterday, the Birmingham MP Jess Phillips demonstrated her grasp of politics up there, as she called it on Good Morning Scotland, by declaring, "I can't understand how you can be pro-EU but not pro-UK." Well, rather a lot of Scottish voters do. She went on to suggest that December's election was a vindication of the Union. This is because 53% of Scottish voters didn't vote for parties that supported independence. We can forget about the SNP getting 80% of the seats and reducing Labour to one solitary MP. In the Remainian universe in which Ms Phillips resides, actual results are clearly irrelevant. The general election was also a vindication of staying in the European Union, she thinks, because if you add up all the non-Tory votes it comes to 52%. This is crass, not just because it ignores the electoral system, but because it assumes that you can see into the minds of voters. They may have been casting their votes for any number of reasons unrelated to Brexit, like those people who voted for Jo Swinson because she thinks human reproductive biology is a myth. All we know is that December 2019 was Labour's worst general election result since 1935. Ms Phillips knows that people in Scotland didn't really mean to vote for the SNP's policy of independence, because she knows the working classes better than they know themselves. I mean, all those people in her own Birmingham Yardley constituency who voted overwhelmingly to leave the EU are just wrong. If you added up all the other votes, well, maybe not. Unsurprisingly, Ms Phillips rejects a Scottish referendum because I can't think it would ever be better for Scotland to leave the UK. She of course thinks a second referendum on Brexit is entirely justified because, well, she thinks it is. So it seems we can forget about all this independence business for the next few years. At least, Labour's leadership contenders seem reluctant to support John McDonnell's promise not to stand in the way of a referendum, should Scots vote for one in 2021. Boris Johnson must be well pleased at this new constitutional consensus. Just don't expect this Parliament to vote for a Section 30 order. Rebecca Long-Bailey, the proud socialist who finally declared her candidature for Labour leader yesterday, is determined to avoid any Tory-like backsliding. She doesn't think much of Better Together, but nor has she anything coherent to say about Scotland. Nor has Sir Keir Starmer, who emerged as an early leader in opinion polls of Labour members. It is a measure of Labour's ideological confusion that the leading Remainer is apparently favourite to take over after Labour was routed for failing to support Brexit. But even momentum activists like a B. For more on this story, visit the news article link.